Live courtside tonight here at the PEC on the campus of Coppin State University. Todd Bartley joined by Dan Mason getting set for the Eagles home opener as they take on the midshipmen of Navy. And Dan, tonight's a very special game because for the Navy midshipmen, they're coming in 7-3 on the year. Third time these two teams will match up, and the last two times have come down to one possession.
Well, let me tell you, first of all, Todd, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad to be on your team on this wonderful campus in this beautiful arena tonight. And you're right. I think Navy has only had one win on the road. They've had two on a neutral site. But I've got the keys to the game. I've been behind the computer all day long looking for a formula to win, and I think I have a possibility.
That's the tease. We like to call that a tease in the business. Hopefully we'll be visiting with head coach Juan Dixon of the Eagles. And, Dan, they've started the year winless to this point, but they're not ducking anybody by any stretch of the imagination. You look at their schedule.
They've got a really tough schedule. And I understand that a lot of the MEAC teams, they have to do the same thing. It helps in their recruiting. It helps with budgeting. And it's just part of what they have to do. So, but come conference play time, though, you can see a big change. And when we play on the same level, it really will make a difference. It'll be tougher for them.
Really a night and day turnaround from the game against Ohio on the road to the game against Georgetown, where the game against Ohio, they didn't get anything to fall. And then you turn around and you play on the big stage in D.C., on national television, and you only lose by 16 to the Hoyas, who dismantled UMES earlier in the season.
I think there's some keys to the game, I think. I mean, let's face it. I mean, both teams have probably played pretty tough schedules, although Coppin State has played a much tougher schedule than Navy has in the last 8 games. But honestly, Todd, they're going to have the Eagles are going to have to shoot better than the average of like 31% to win. I mean, that's just a natural for any basketball team. So they got to take high percentage shots. You got to be very careful. Certainly Navy does not have the height that Georgetown had. So they can penetrate inside the paint. I believe it could come away with a W tonight.
So how much of the comforts of home and being on the home floor for the first time, new VIP area, pep bands in the house, presidents in the house, dignitaries are in the house tonight, how much more to the positive mental side is that play being at home?
I think it adds a lot, and I think these guys, after 8 road contests, I think they're ready to come home, and it's good to see friendly faces and a brand new start for the program.
We mentioned the opening 8 roadies, if you will. Well, when you play here at the PEC, as we've seen over the years, it seems to me that it's closer confines because some of the gyms are playing in, no knock on the bigger gyms, they're like airplane hangars. So depth perception becomes an issue. And as we saw against Georgetown, you rotate the basketball, it's into a corner, but it's a deep corner. As opposed to here, you go to the corner, you're either into the bench on one side or into the seats on the other.
It's well built and it's very intimate here. I mean, it looks a lot, as we've spoken in the past. It reminds me a lot of East Carolina, except that maybe a smaller version. But there's some intimacy here. There's closeness and the beautiful. I've said this before. It's the first time I've ever been here, but the arena is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. It was built in 2009, so it's relatively a new arena by college standards.
Absolutely right. Set up for a timeout here on the Countdown to Tip-Off show presented by Buffalo Wild Wings live at the PEC, getting set for Coppin State and Navy. That's next on the home of the Eagles. That courtside at the PEC here at Coppin State University. Todd Barley joined by Dan Mason. Congratulations to Genesis Lucas of the Coppin State women's basketball team. She surpassed 1,000 points with her effort against Middle Tennessee State on the road. Dan, as we saw against Old Dominion on the road, she put up double figures, and then Charlotte knew she was going for that milestone and absolutely shut her down, holding her to 6 points on the road trip to Charlotte. So it's good to see Genesis over the 1,000-point plateau in her career.
What was that, like a triple team there or something like that?
They zoned, man, boxed and won everything. You're not getting it on our floor.
You know, speaking of the Coppin State Eagles women's team, it's the same thing here. I mean, they go out on the road. They play really, really tough schedules, and now they're going to be back home soon. And you know that they're waiting to get home. They were probably saying, get this bus going and let's get out of here.
Now, before we get to the sounds of the game with Joe Vasile on the call at Georgetown, we need to share with everybody that's watching and listening, of course, on WNST AM 1570, if my partner's name rings a bell, it should. Because when it comes to broadcasting, when it comes to the broadcast business, the man to my right is what we like to call a legend. You actually built CBS Radio into a phenomenal company. If you've not been reading the business news of late, and I know there's a certain business station out of Washington, D.C. that everybody's familiar with, it was just sold for a couple $1 billion. So congratulations to you, my partner. I'm humbled to be alongside you tonight.
Oh, thank you, Todd. It's very kind of you to say that. I retired in 2015, and I did basketball early in my career, and I was 40 years away from it. Hadn't done a game in 40 years, and finally, after I retired, I mentioned to CBS that I really like to do basketball on television, and I did 2 seasons there. I'm with you this season. But I also do horse racing with the Horse Racing Radio Network, and I cover the Kentucky Derby for NBC Sports Radio. But to me, I mean, I'm a radio person. I love being behind the microphone. I love being with radio people. So this is a perfect blend to be with you tonight.
That, we're going to let the secret out, because you're going to become the primary for the women's basketball program, which is on the rise with Coach Burrows.
I'm looking forward to that and getting to know the team and know Coach Burrows. So it's a great opportunity for me, and I can't wait to get started. 90-second
timeout. More with Dan Mason here live courtside at the PEC, not to mention starting lineups. That's next after a 90-second timeout on the home of the Eagles. That courtside at the PEC, Todd Barley joined by Dan Mason. Not only is this game going on tonight between Navy and Coppin State, Dan, there's other games going on tonight in the MEAC.
Yes, there are, and we've got 3 of them tonight, Todd. We got Coastal Carolina at Hampton. We got Morgan State at Towson, very close by, and also UMBC at Delaware State. We'll be updating you from time to time on how those conference games are going.
So you talked about the keys to the game. Let's get to those first, and then the starting lineups.
First of all, I have basically three and a half keys. The first key, if the team plays with the same tenacity and intensity that they did with Georgetown, they got a real chance, because that was a marked improvement in hustle and play out right. Secondly, this is important. You've got to take a better percentage of shot, or better closer in shots. At 31%, there's probably a reason for that being low, and that's probably too many perimeter shots at 20-footers plus. Got to work the ball into the paint. Now, it was very difficult for the Eagles. I watched that Georgetown game closely. It was very difficult for the Eagles to work inside because they had the big 6'11" center, Walker, who just ate up all the real estate on the floor. And he was tough. He just towered above the team. But not tonight. Not so tonight. And Navy appears to me, by looking at size, they have one person at 6'7", but that's just about it. So they have to penetrate the paint and do a lot better than 31% because Navy shoots 44%. And then the final key to me, Todd, there's the Karan Davis factor. He needs another 20-point game. He leads the team in assists. He leads his team in steals. And he's the man that has to drive this thing tonight. As far as turnovers, one other thing to add. If they could hit 10 or less turnovers, I think there'll be a big benefit for them because they've been averaging 13. But guess what? Navy averages 15, so they turn the ball over more. There's another thing, too, that the Eagles do better than the midshipmen, and that's at the free throw line. At the free throw line, the midshipmen are only 74%. The Coppin State is near 80%. So let's hope we get some free throws tonight.
Dan, let me ask you this. How critical is tempo for Coppin State tonight with their guards?
I would have to wait and see the quickness of Navy. I'm not sure how fast they are. If Navy is not that fast, it becomes critical. If they're fast, then it could be a speed match down the road. And we all know that sometimes you get speed on speed, like the old public service announcement, speed kills. So we got to be careful about that.
So for Navy, it goes without saying, Dan, that these young men, they're in school now, okay? 4 to 5 years in the basketball program. And, oh, by the way, they're just getting started because the minimum service commitment after they get out of the Naval Academy is 5 years serving our nation. So kudos to these young men.
It's a fine team, a fine group of athletic guys, and we're glad they're here tonight.
Both teams making their way off the floor. Time for the home opener for Coppin State. They'll take on Navy after this on the home of the Eagles. as the colors exit the floor, presented by the Coppin State University ROTC members. Todd Bartley rejoined by Dan Mason here courtside at the PEC at Coppin State University, getting set for Coppin State and Navy. That was a sight.
Exciting night of basketball on the way for sure. One thing I noticed, Todd, I don't know if you picked this up yet, but Navy has brought 20 players tonight to this game. Now that is the largest ensemble of basketball players I've ever seen in number. It's a good thing they didn't have to travel too far.
It's the Navy.
That's the Navy.
Strength in numbers, right?
Right.
For the midshipmen, 7-3 on the year under Ed DeChillis. They'll deploy out of Birmingham, Alabama, 6-foot junior and a lead guard, Hassan Abdullah. He's flanked by 6'4 senior out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Sean Anderson. Bryce Doolin, 6'4 senior out of Nixon, Missouri at the 3. Tom Lacey out of Glenridge, New Jersey at the 4. 6'7 senior. 6'8 sophomore out of Amarillo, Texas, Evan Wick at the 5. For the Eagles, winless on the year. Of course, it's the first home game for the Eagles. Karan Davis, 6'2 graduate transfer from Niagara. He originally hails from Philadelphia. He's the lead guard. Quayne Drummond, 6'4 freshman out of Newport News, Virginia at the 2. Lamar Morgan, 6'6 junior out of Willingboro, New Jersey at the 3. Adam Trayor, 6'5 junior out of New York, New York. He's the 4. Cedric Council, 6'8 junior out of Kennesaw, Georgia. He's the 5. And the pep band for the Eagles in full voice as we get set to tip it off between Navy and Coppin State. Wick and Council in jump circle. Navy traveling Navy blues. Piped in white with the old gold. Coppin in the home whites trimmed in blue and gold. That tip is going to be deflected off the hand of Lacey, and Coppin State will have the opening possession tonight.
Well, we're going to see some quickness now. We know Sean Anderson will probably have another good game for the midshipmen. He's led this team for the past 3 years in scoring.
27 points away from 22nd all-time in Navy history. Davis left wing behind the arc. Goes left side now to Morgan. Back around the horn, near side of the right. Trayor to the right corner. A little post entry feed back to Trayor. And the ball is knocked away and stolen.
Had the right idea that time, Todd. They tried to get it under, just went awry, but that was the way to play it.
Quick dunk down to the near block, and the trailer comes down the lane. Back of the rim, side of the rim, and off on the Wick attempt. Davis left to right, now head of the key. Trying to use that screen from Trayor. Goes left, faces up the free throw line. Rim glass, no good. Rebound Lacey. Quickly back the other way, Abdullah. Abdullah between the rings. Swings it right side, Lacey. Right wing penetration. Anderson skips it through the lane. Near side left to Doolin. He wants a 3. It's on the way and good. And Navy has an early 3-0 lead.
Good shot, good look by the Navy.
Out of the double team trap. Davis and Drummond playing 2 men in the backcourt. Now Davis into the forecourt. Hands up to Trayor. Drummond to touch far left corner. Down the hands of Council. Back around the horn it comes, top side of the right. Trayor back to Davis. Far side left Drummond. 9 to shoot. Back to Trayor. Top side of the right. Morgan with 4. Down to 3. Coming left with 2. Has to left flash. The shot clock runs down. Rim and over the top of the backboard, out of bounds.
Coach Dixon urging his team to go in, go in, go in. He's right in front of the scorer's table where we are, and he's pretty intense tonight, too.
Minute and a half gone by, and the clock was held for a moment. They'll run the shot clock to 28. 18:25 remaining first half. Inbound far side. Sean Anderson has Abdullah in front of him. It's Abdullah with the handle, defended by Drummond. Feeds it high right now. And off from Wick. Goes back to Anderson with a little forearm shiver to clear some space. Anderson with 12 to shoot. Goes right to the screen, set by Lacey. The reversal is picked off by Drummond, and he's fouled.
That's a good defensive time, this time down to 4 for the Eagles. Play tight defense on Navy.
Wick with the foul. That's his first. First on either team in the opening half. It comes with 18:02 remaining. Navy in front of Coppin State, 3-0. Bounce comes into Davis. Davis, far side left. Now for Trayor. Drummond, give it back near side of the right. Davis, pinned, head of the key. Feeds it high to Council. Goes left to Drummond, and Drummond draws the blocking foul, I believe, on Doolin. That's his first.
Smart move by Drummond that time.
Comes with 17:47 to go in the half, and the shot clock down to 16.
You know, you talk about Navy. Navy does they play a really tight defense themselves. They average 68.5 to defenders, which is tops in the Patriot League.
Shot clock now at 20 after the reset. Top side left, Davis on the catch. Dribbles head of the key. Goes left to the screen, left elbow. Bounce it down to the doorstep. Council nearly had it knocked away. Check that. Trayor nearly had it knocked away. Reversed it out to Davis. Rimming off, got his own miss back. Dribbles in the lane, lost the handle. Abdullah coming right to left.
That offensive scheme last time, though, Todd, you saw them. The Eagles took it to the basket once again, tried to get down through the paint.
Lacey gave it up to Anderson. Tried to step right. That was cut off. Reverse it left side. Abdullah, 15 to shoot. Abdullah coming left to right around the screen from Wick. Skip past far side right. Doolin's jumper comes rimming off. Battle for the rebound, and Trayor with it. Here comes Davis, left to right for Coppin State. Dumps it down. Council, kick out left side. That three ball on the way, and the high arcing three out of the left corner is good.
Right to the paint, then they push it back out to the corner. He gets a clean look and knocks it down.
Lamar Morgan ties the game at 3, 16:45 to go, first half. Abdullah top side right, we're going the other way. He used that forearm to clear some space. Third on Navy as a team. And we're not even 4 minutes in. Ed DeChillis in the ear of the official in his 7th year at Navy, 22nd overall. Spent a lot of time at Penn State.
Also had some good years at East Tennessee State, too.
Davis far side left. Now for Trayor. Back head of the key now to Davis. Near side right to Morgan. Feeds it high right now to Council. Council coming to his left. Ball screen handoff. Gave it back to Drummond. 5 to shoot. Runs right out of the lane. Waving off. That's an offensive foul.
A little too aggressive that time by Drummond. He ran right into a defender, and he picks up the foul.
Anytime you dip that shoulder in front of an official, 50-50 chance of getting that offensive foul called. 16-16 to go in the half. Tied at 3. Inbound to Abdullah. He'll march it right to left. Now to the forecourt, top side right. Hands it off to Doolin. Doolin swings it near side left for Lacey. Lacey bounces it down. Anderson going to work on this near block. Turns, faces up. Swings it back head of the key. Abdullah, line to the lane. Feeds it out to Lacey. He traveled. Oh, my goodness, did he travel.
That was
counted and a foul.
That was a close call. That's probably one of the charge is the toughest call an official has to make, distinguishing between a block and a charge. Toughest call for an official.
Trayor the foul, that's his first, making a 5-3 Navy lead with a free throw coming after this 60-second timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. So out of the under-16 media timeout, it's a 5-3 Navy lead. Well, just taking a bit of a poll here with fans around us at press row.
And what did you come up with?
Well, they thought it looked like a travel. It looked like a travel.
You would naturally get that call on a home court advantage.
You'd think, right? So Lacey's first field goal gives Navy that 5-3 lead.
Both teams playing terrific defense right now. A lot of it, that's a result of some of these fouls and how close they're playing.
Trey Thomas checks in for Coppin State out of the media timeout.
Trey's a 6'3" senior from Largo.
Lacey's free throw on the way and good. He's got 3, and the Navy lead is 6-3 with 15:50 to go in the opening half.
So far, 2 turnovers each. Coppin State 2, Navy 2. Low at this point.
Far side left, Thomas. Swings it off head of the key now to Davis. Davis going right. Dump it down to the doorstep. Head fake and a ball fake, and then a block by Lacey on the attempt by Trayor.
A lot of contact down there, no call.
Abdullah coming left to the head of the key. Swings it right side. Now on the ball reversal. Lacey on the catch. Your side left, Abdullah. Left wing behind the arc, 13 to shoot. Right side, Anderson behind the arc. Dribble penetration on the right block. It got cut off. 7 to shoot. Loose ball comes in the air. Near side left to Abdullah. Launches with 4 on the shot clock. Back of the rim, no good. Lacey battled for the rebound, but Trey Thomas comes away with it for Coppin State.
Lacey knocked it right into the hands of Thomas, and he took advantage of it.
Top side left. Trayor, a ball screen handoff. Deep 3 up the left wing. Rimming off for Morgan.
Not the best shot selection there.
Abdullah near side left to Doolin. Dump it down near block to Lacey. Lacey turning. Fires it top side right. Anderson a clean look at a 3. Hard off the glass. No good. Rebound to Coppin State. And now Karan Davis will slow everything down.
Coach Dixon on the sideline barking instructions to slow it down, calm down.
Davis has it top side left. Bounce it off far block. Now to Trayor. Trayor, step back turnaround from 15 is on the way, rimming off. Nobody home in a white jersey for a rebound. Here comes Anderson with it. Picks up the dribble, top side right. Gave it up to Lacey. Lacey, a ball screen handoff. Gave it up to Doolin. Runs right to the lane. Got it and got fouled. Doolin now with 5 to make it an 8-3 Navy lead and a free throw coming. Lamar Morgan with his first.
Substitutions now, Simpson and Fair coming into the game for the Eagles. So Coach Dixon going to the bench early.
Wick checks out for Navy. George Kiernan checks in for the first time.
I thought Blake had a good game against Georgetown. He penetrated the best he could. He was probably one of the better players that drove the paint that day, that tried to drive.
Front of the rim, no on the free throw attempt, and it keeps it an 8-3 Navy lead at the 13:55 mark of the opening half.
Eagles need a good possession here, Todd.
Davis to Council, topside left to Thomas, 13 to shoot. Topside right to Davis, around the screen, bounce it out right corner. 3 balls on the way, that's good out of the corner for Fair.
That looked good. Perfect shot right through the net.
Makes it 8-6 Navy, 13:30 to go first half. Abdullah with it, head of the key. Tried to come left around the screen, reverse it up to Kiernan. Kiernan bounced it far block into the hands of Lacey. Lacey trying to go right to left, threw it to the window, no, but a whistle and a foul.
Looks like it might be on Simpson down there.
His first. So the fouls, as you talked about earlier in the open, they're now mounting for Coppin State.
Both teams with 4 total fouls. Oh, make that 4 for Coppin State and 3 for Navy.
So line left on the way, rim and good for Lacey. That's line left for radio, line right for TV. Makes it a 9-6 Navy lead, 13-16 to go in the opening half. Doolin will check out, replaced by Anderson. And Wick will come back if Lacey makes the free throw.
Midshipman also subbing frequently, too. So they're both teams rotating their bench. I doubt that Navy will get through the entire 20-man bench down there, though, tonight.
Rimming off in the second attempt, keeps it a 9-6 Navy lead, 13-12 to go in the opening half. We talked about early on, would it be a track meet? At least here in the first 7 minutes, half-court offense both ways. Davis goes left, try to get it down to Council. Simpson keeps the possession alive with 9 to shoot. Council finds a trailing Davis, head of the key with 6, down to 5. Left wing Thomas with 4. Back head of the key to Davis, down to 2. Council faces, fires, and hit it at the horn.
I still love what I see tonight, Todd, that the Eagles are driving the paint. They're trying to get to the paint. Sometimes they kick it out, sometimes it doesn't go in, but they're making a big effort to change things around.
Skip pass far side right. Anderson out of that corner, draws the double team. Now reverse it off Abdullah between the rings. Now to Kiernan. Ball screen handoff back to Anderson. Anderson backs it out with 12 to shoot. Comes opposite the Lacey screen. Lacey on the bounce back. Goes line. Lane. Got caught in traffic. Kicks it out left side to Anderson. Coming line to the lane. Fights it up. Glass no good. Hold the phone. Shot clock violation is the call, even though Council had the loose ball.
Good defense again on the part of the Eagles. What's your thoughts on their defense tonight?
I like the closeouts on Anderson, not allowing him to get good looks. They run a primary defender at him. Then the help side comes over. So 12-11 to go. Opening half, 9-8 Navy leading Coppin. Eagles a chance for the lead with this possession. Fair has it, back to Davis. Davis launches a 3 for the lead. Rimming off, got a great look, it didn't drop. Anderson coming right to left, dribbles right of the lane. Backs it out now to Kiernan. Left side Abdullah comes around the Kiernan screen. Kiernan on the pick and roll, left side, runs it to the baseline and fights it up and scores.
Good offensive possession for the midshipmen that time.
Makes it 11-8 Navy. Top side left, Fair's got it. Now to Davis, head of the key. Davis coming left. Back to Fair, a deep 3, left wing, comes rim and off. Last touched, I believe, by Navy out of bounds. We have a timeout on the floor. 11:28 to go in the opening half. It's now Navy 11, Coppin State 8. We're back after a 60-second timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. Out of the timeout, 11:28 remaining in the opening half. Navy leads Coppin State 11-8. I would argue, Dan Mason, the pace of play early on here favors Coppin State because they have kept Navy into a half-court offensive type of game as opposed to a track meet.
Well, one thing for the book we have to keep an eye on this, Todd, is that field goal percentage. Navy is 4 for 9 from the field right now, and Coppin State 3 for 11. So that's inside. On the three-point angle, Navy's 1 for 4, and Coppin State a little bit better at 2 for 7. High percentage shots. That's important.
Lob to the top to Thomas. He'll catch it top side right. Hand it back to Davis. Davis on the bounce, coming left between the rings. Now to Thomas. Back to Traore. Top side right, back to Davis. Davis with some penetration head of the key, trying to back his way in, and we've got a whistle and contact assessed on Norse Fox, who checked in out of the timeout for Navy.
One thing the Eagles have done well so far tonight, they've out-rebounded Navy 9-6, and Navy is a strong rebounding team.
20 to shoot. Inbound comes to Davis. Far side left. Now for Fair. Right side, it comes back to Davis. 10 to shoot. Davis head of the key. Penetration of the free throw line. Fights one up and scores.
Great shot. Bounced right off the defender and popped one from 10. That looked good.
11-10, Navy with the lead. 10:50 to go in the first half. Top side right, Kiernan. Ball screen handoff. Now for Anderson. Anderson holding top side right. Swings it near side left to Fox. Bounce it weak side left now for Kiernan. Kiernan runs it up. Glass and good again. That's his favorite spot.
Good effort, too. He went and split two Coppin defenders.
13-10, Navy. Cam Davis is also checked in for the midshipman. Top side now, Davis with the handle, going right around the screen from Simpson. And I think Blake just picked up his second on the illegal screen. He'll check out. Drummond is back. Council's back, so's Lamar Morgan. Doolin came back for the midshipman, along with Wick. Wick in the catch, near side elbow. Tried to feed it back door to Fox. Glass and good.
Amazingly, he got that ball and recovered after it deflected there, but he picked it back up and laid it underhanded in.
So after Coppin cut it to 1 at 11-10, Navy with back-to-back field goals to make it a 15-10 midshipman lead. Less than 10 minutes to go first half. Thomas picks up the bounce, hands it back now for Drummond. Around the horn, left corner now to Morgan. Back to Drummond, top side left. Near side right to Fair, coming left of the Council screen. Left side, clean look at a three for Drummond on the way. Right of the rim, no good. Again, nobody weak side.
Nobody underneath for the Eagles. 3 Navy defenders under there. Had the ball easy to themselves.
So now Fox on the bounce in. It comes to Wick. Top side left, hands it up to Kiernan. Kiernan goes back to the basket out between the rings. Picks up the dribble. Swings it right side. In the hands of Doolin. Intended for Anderson. And it's last touch by Coppin State out of bounds. 11 to shoot. Inbounders Anderson for the baseline out of the corner. Gets it into Fox, topside right.
Anderson's still scoreless tonight.
Fox going right of the lane. Throws it near side left. Gave it up to Kiernan. His three ball came off. Doolin a no-look feed to Kiernan. Jump stop in the lane, and it's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond of Coppin State.
That was a great play by Drummond to slap that ball away, because that would have been an easy goal, I think.
Wick checks out. Tom Lacey checks back in. And we're going the other way on a moving screen, I believe, on Fox. He'll check out. Hassan Abdullah will check back in.
Substitutions keep coming for the midshipmen.
9:03 to go, opening half. A 15-10 Navy lead here at the PEC. Thomas with it, top side left. Morgan with it, far side left now for Drummond. For Thomas between the rings. Swings it back top side left to Drummond. Coming right, dumps it off to Council. Rim no, and the rebound to Kiernan. Kind of juggled it on the way up.
Council said a couple of tough ones like that tonight. Maybe about 3 of them he's handled that way.
Kiernan a catch and fire 3, head of the key, and it's good. Give him 7 and make it 18-10 Navy, and a timeout Coppin State.
I think Coach Dixon's going to talk it over and how to defend Kiernan, because he's getting way too many clean looks.
8:31 to go in the opening half. It's now Navy 18, Coppin State 10. Back in 30 seconds on the Coppin State Sports Network. So out of the Coppin State timeout, 18-10, Navy by 8, and Dan Mason a 7-0 midshipman run.
Check a couple of scores from the MEAC scoreboard there. Coastal Carolina leads Hampton right now, 32-29, 4:27 left, and also 6:28 left in the first half. Morgan State losing to Towson by 7, 29-22.
Top side left. Fair's got it. Swings it back to Morgan between the rings. 15 to shoot. It comes to Thomas. Against a 2-3 zone. Dribble penetration. Kicks it out left side. Fair wants that deep three one more time. Rim it off. Rebound to Lacey.
Fair was hit on the arm as he went up. It was missed that time by the officials.
Lacey, line to the lane. Misses it with the right hand. And the rebound, Trey Thomas. Under 8 minutes to go in the half. Swings it left side, Davis. Penetration. Reverse right-hander's good.
Oh, that looked great. Looked great. Drove the baseline and just slapped it underhanded and laid it in.
18-12 and an emphatic finish for Bryce Doolin. Give him 7 and make it 20-12 Navy.
Navy seems to be slicing through the defense now a little bit easier than they had before.
Thomas, head of the key, wants a 3. Right of the rim, no good. Lacey the rebound, hands it off to Abdullah. Abdullah to the forecourt, now between the rings to Lacey. Near side left, he gave it up to Anderson. Curls right, fights it to the corner to Doolin. Reverse it off for a 3-ball for Abdullah. Rim it off, comes all the way back out to Anderson. Now to Abdullah, top side right.
Navy's getting second and third chances right now that can't be helping the Eagles at all.
Kiernan going right, and Morgan hand-checked him. That's his second. It comes with 7:01 to go. Navy in front of Coppin, 20-12. We got a timeout on the floor. Back in 60 seconds on the Coppin State Sports Network. .701 to go in the opening half. Navy with a 20-12 lead on Coppin State. Rebounding margin now for the first time in the game in favor of Navy at 12-10.
Well, if you're Coach Dixon, Todd, what are you instructing your team in that last time out?
Rebound the basketball.
Got to get better position, block out, do the basics, get a little bit back more into the intensity mode that they were in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, because it seems to me, as you talked about in the open, you're getting a good look. However, it comes off. There's nobody home for a rebound.
Navy shooting an even 50% now for the field, 8 for 16. Coppin State's right back down to their in the low 30 average at 5 for 17.
Now, understand, I like the confidence of our guys letting it go and feels it's going to go. Just in case. Got to get the rebound. Abdullah, top side right. Defended by Lucian Brownlee, who just checked in. And Brownlee reaches and fouls. It's his first. It comes with 6:58 to go in the opening half. Navy on top 20-12.
Coppin State needs to slow things down a bit, a little bit more deliberate. I believe Navy may have the edge in quickness here. And keep driving the paint. Keep putting the ball into the paint.
Abdullah on the year shooting 54.5% coming in. Makes the front end of 2. Second one's on the way. Back of the rim, no good. The numbers didn't lie with under 7 minutes to go in the half. Far side left, Drummond the handle. Now top side Davis. Davis backs it out between the rings. Now takes it left. Feeds it off to Drummond. Leaves it inside for Council. Rim it off. Offensive rebound. And the follow got stripped away from Traore.
More contact down and no call, though.
Abdullah, top side right. Two screens waiting head of the key. Comes left to the Lacey screen, then got tangled up in traffic and fouled by Drummond. That's his second. Dan, that comes at 6:19 to go in this opening half. So now Drummond, Simpson, and Morgan all with two.
Those are two quick fouls on Drummond, too. I know he's a little frustrated that he got that call, but can't take that one back.
Morgan making his way back to the scorer's table. Abdullah split his previous pair of free throw attempts. First one on the way, and it's good. 22-12 Navy. 6:19 to go in the half.
Coppin State coaches saying, pick up the intensity, team. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Second Abdullah free throw. On the way and good. He's 3 out of 4 at the line and makes it 23-12 Navy. 6:15 to go in the half.
We'll watch and see what the Eagles will run here. Hopefully it'll be back to the paint.
Head of the key, Davis. Coming left, penetration through the double team and the zone. It's off the hands of Traore. Navy last to touch it, so the shot clock remains at 16. Inbounder will be Davis. Top side right. Catch and fire 3 for Morgan. Right of the rim, no good. Rebound to Lacey.
No one underneath for Coppin State on the second chance.
Abdullah feeds it quickly to Kiernan. Kick out left side. Doolin with it. Reverse it off head of the key, and now Anderson on the catch. Anderson going right. Backs it out head of the key now for Kiernan. Lob it down to Lacey. Lacey with his back to the basket. Turns right. Comes back to his left. He traveled. Tried that extra step, and the official was right on it.
You got that call, Todd. You got that call.
Wick replaces Lacey.
He'd been close on another couple of occasions. He got caught that time.
Coach DiCillo said, you can't do that. At least don't do it, let him catch you, right? 5.5 to go first half. Coppin down 23-12 to Navy. Top side right. Brownlee swings it off. Davis. Far side left corner out of Morgan. Back to Traore. Head of the key to Davis. Top side to Brownlee. 10 to shoot. Trying to go right. Draws 3 different defenders. Fights it up left. It's short. He ends up on the floor.
So much contact there.
Kiernan to Abdullah. Finds Kiernan a trailing 3. Head of the key. Way off the glass. Too strong. My goodness. He taps his chest and says, my fault.
Navy gets it back, though. They'll get a second chance at this.
Abdullah. High right now to Kiernan. Kiernan kicks it out right side. Abdullah wants that 3. No good, but a tap follow is good. Kiernan now with 9.
Great follow-up with his shot by Kiernan. He leads all scorers.
25-12 Navy. Davis coming back to the head of the key with 15 to shoot. Right side Brownlee. Penetration again to the right of the lane. Finds a wide open Traore on the doorstep. Glass no good. Rebound Kiernan. Hands it off to Abdullah. He'll very calmly march it right to left. Top side right. Left hand bounce. Back between the rings now for Anderson, who's been held scoreless in this first half. Doolin, a nifty pass to Wick. It's off the glass and good.
The combination of Wick and Doolin and Kiernan are very tough tonight for Navy. Hard to stop.
Believe the run is now 9-0 by Navy after Coppin scored to make it 18-12. Turning left with a floater off the glass, no, is Davis. Rebound the Navy with 3:40 to go in the half. Left side, Doolin. Swings it back to Anderson. Anderson Swings it far side right. Kiernan catch and fire three. It's on the way. Good again. Kiernan now with 12. 12-0 run makes it a 30-12 Navy lead. 3:20 to go in the half. Trayor, top side right to Brownlee. Far side left to Morgan. Nearly threw it away. Davis tried to save it in. It's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Navy. Fair checks back in for Coppin State. He'll be on the floor when we come back, along with Trey Thomas. 3:09 to go in the opening half. It's now Navy 30, Coppin 12. Back after a 60-second timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. Out of the timeout, 3:09 to go first half. It's Navy 30, Coppin State 12. Top Harley Dan Mason here at the PEC at Coppin State University. George Kiernan leads all scorers with 12, so he's matched his season high against Denver with 12. He's closing in on his career high of 18.
Right now, Navy is really hurting Coppin State on the boards. 19 rebounds for the midshipmen, 12 for the Eagles. But Todd, the Coppin State's only turned it over twice tonight, so that looks pretty good right now. You just have to be deliberate to get back in.
Yeah, no second chance opportunities, Dan, as you mentioned earlier. Absolutely hurting the Eagles right now. 30-12 Navy, closing in on 3 minutes to go in the half. Fair's got it. Now for Davis. Davis head of the key. Try to reverse it off. It was deflected by Abdullah.
15 out of those 19 rebounds are defensive rebounds.
Kiernan, left wing three. That's good. He's got 15.
Right now he's unstoppable.
33-12 midshipman. Davis head of the key. Top side of the right to Thomas. Feeds it inside to Trayor. Deep three for Davis comes rimming off. Guess who got the rebound? Kiernan. 2.5 to go in the first half.
You have 15 rebounds out of 19 on the defensive side. Coppin State gets no second chances.
Anderson swings it back, head of the key. Doolin wants in the act with a three. Rim glass, no good. And the rebound yanked down by Trayor. Outlet now for Thomas. 2:10 to go in the half. Top side of the right now to Ron Davis. Far side left Trayor. Left wing behind the arc now for Thomas. Kick out right corner. Rise and fire three is on the way. Back of the rim. No. Out of the hand of Fair.
Again, it's a one and done for Coppin State. One shot, that's it.
Right to left comes Abdullah. Left wing behind the arc. Swings it off between the rings now for Doolin. Doolin near side left into the hands of Abdullah. 8 to shoot. Gave it up to Wick. Now back to Abdullah. Lost the handle going to the lane because he was fouled. Fouls on Council. That's his first. Coppin with their 9th team foul here in the opening half.
First time we've seen a substitution of here's Andrews Fulton coming into the game. First time we've seen him tonight, Todd.
Rearsma has also checked in for Navy. So they've gone 9 deep in the opening half. Rimming off for Abdullah. Keeps it 33-12. Rebound to Thomas. He'll bring it to the forecourt. Now for Davis. Davis, top side left for Fair. Left wing to Thomas. Now back to Fair. Right side Davis, kicked it inside to Andrews Fulton. Now reverse it around far side left to Thomas. 10 to shoot. Now to Fair. Swings it back, top side right. Davis for three, right of the rim, no. A stick back follow, rim, no for Andrews Fulton. Fights it up again, rim, and it spins home.
You can probably see why Coach Dixon wanted Andrews Fulton in there. Second chance, third chance. He battled hard to get that basket.
Makes it 33-14 Navy, 45 seconds to go in the half. Anderson, dribble penetration to the free throw line. Bounce it, weak side of the right. Abdullah forgot the basketball. Here comes Thomas left to right. About a 7-second differential, game and shot clock. Davis top side left on the bounce. Left corner to Council, back to Davis. Now to Fair. Andrews Fulton faces up. Turns left in the lane. Kicks it back out to the top, now to Fair, 10 to shoot. Fair going left, gave it up to Davis. Davis tried to dump it down to Council, it's picked off. And now Navy with 10 to go in the half can hold for one. Abdullah at the time stripe was 6, down to 5, into the jump circle. Comes left to the screen from Wick. Abdullah pulls up with 2 on the shot clock and the game clock and rattles it home at the horn.
Put it right there at the sound of the horn. So he gets a basket going out the door there in the first half. 35-14, Navy over Coppin.
At the break and leading all scorers is George Kiernan. We're back with the sounds of the first half. That's next on the Coppin State Sports Network. at the half. It is Navy in front of Coppin, 35-14. Todd Barley joined by Dan Mason, your courtside at the PEC at Coppin State University. And Dan, early on, 11-10 Navy as Coppin got it to within one. And then George Kernan started putting on a show with 3 threes in the opening half. And Navy then went on a 24-4 run to close the half.
Well, when you look at the stat sheet, it's kind of hard to believe that Coppin's down 21 points because you look and see that the turnovers are low. The turnovers are at 4 for Navy. The rebounding, Navy has out-rebounded them, 21-16. 17 of those 21 rebounds, though, Todd, are defensive rebounds. The Eagles are getting no second chances whatsoever. But what's really killing the Eagles right now, if you look at their first half field goal percentage, it's one of the keys to the game that we saw that they would have to do better than their average of 31. They're at 21 right now, and Navy's shooting 54%. So they've made some really good shots driving through the lane, and they don't take a lot of bad shots.
You mentioned the attempts. 28 attempts for Coppin, 24 for Navy. Of the 28 attempts, 14 are from distance. We were talking about it in the break with the off-the-dribble game, or off the bounce, if you will, game for Coppin State against that 2-3 zone. Is this a situation in the second half where, as Juan Dixon did his entire playing career, tells his guys, don't be afraid to drive and kick?
Well, they were at their best when they did that, so I think that has to come back into the game. Also, I think that the coach is talking about a new defensive scheme, too, possibly. We talked about maybe switching off to a zone, and that might be what's needed to stop some of those drives to the paint.
How about Kieran's got 15 to lead everybody, and Anderson came in over 1,000 points in his career, and the Eagles hold him scoreless in the opening half.
And Kieran, I mean, he's put up great numbers tonight, but he only averages 6.9 a game. So this has been like the game from heaven for him. He's done a really good job out there tonight.
Yeah, he surpassed his season high of 12, now with 15, closing in on equaling his career high with 18. So my guess is 21's going to get some special attention in the second half.
They gotta nail down 21. They have to do that. On the other hand, they have done a terrific job on Sean Anderson tonight, who, as I believe I look at my sheet here, I think he's got scoreless for the leading scorer on the team, and probably only 27 points away from the Navy all-time leading point scorer. Go figure.
Yeah, he's closing in on 22nd all the time, 27 away from that. He puts up 27 in the second half. We're in trouble. We're in deep trouble if he goes up for 27.
Well, I mean, let's go back and try to reset the strategy here. We've got to go back. We've got to be deliberate. We've got to keep the ball under control and chip away at the lead. Do that with good shots inside. No, not too many long shots. The three-pointers it's 14% right now. 2 for 14. So that's not good either. So take the best deliberate shots and just chip away and be patient.
Navy leads Coppin State 35-14 at the break. Back after this 3-minute timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. CoppinStateSports.com, the official internet home of Coppin State Athletics. Not to mention where you can find all the live stats, live video, live audio links to every home game. And, of course, the radio home of the Coppin State Sports Network, WNST AM 1570. Tom Barley, Dan Mason, courtside at the PEC. Slow and steady wins the race.
Slow and steady. You got to be the turtle in this race. Go back easy. Let's take a quick look here at the scoreboard, MEAC scoreboard again. Hampton and Coastal Carolina are tied up at 45 with 16:05 left in the second half. Morgan State losing to Towson. Towson's 8-1, by the way. They're a good team this year. 36-29 at halftime. And UMBC is just getting started. They're down by 2 to Delaware State with 11:38 in the first half.
Coppin State will see UMBC Tuesday the 12th at 7. That's after they go to Connecticut on Saturday. Take on the Huskies at a 2 p.m. tip. Next up for Navy, they're on the road at Columbia for a 1 p.m. tip on December 10th.
I believe that's a Sunday game for them.
Leading scorers in the game, Kernan with 15 for Navy. And it's Karan Davis with 4 leading Coppin State. So to get to your number of 20, he's got to have a big second half with 16.
A big second half. A big second half is needed. It's hard for the Eagles to get on a streak. They haven't been on a streak all night tonight. Maybe they scored 2, they look good on a couple of possessions, but they can't string anything together. But Navy has done that very consistently. It's strung really nice trips up and down the court together.
A lot of one and dones, as you mentioned, so they got to get the ones to go.
And believe it or not, this is how crazy these stats are right now. Coppin State has more offensive rebounds than Navy does. It's all been done with defense. Well, we'll get started here.
Navy to inbound from the far sideline, opposite our location. On radio, they'll go left to right. On TV, well, it's opposite. Head of the key with it, Lacey on the catch. Dump it down to the doorstep, and fouled on the way up is Anderson.
Anderson will get his first chance for a score tonight, right at the free throw line.
Morgan with his third, 10 seconds into the second half. Front end of 2 is on the way, and it's front iron, no good.
75% free throw shooter.
Kid out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Western part of the state. Just over the line from Ohio. Second one for Anderson. He's on the board. Makes it 36-14. So Coppin held him off the board for 20 minutes and about 15 seconds.
I bet you thought that would never happen tonight, did you?
You're right. Drummond with it. He and Davis playing 2-man. Drummond wants a 3, rim it off. Rebound Lacey.
Nobody underneath for Coppin State. All blue jerseys.
Top side left. Here comes Anderson turning right, pocket pick. Drummond had his pocket picked, ends up on the floor. Navy with numbers the other way. Abdullah, head of the key, line to the lane, kicks it out left side. Doolin a trailing 3. Hard off the back iron, no good. Rebound came down to Morgan, and he was on the baseline out of bounds.
Morgan got himself in really great position that time. That's too bad he touched the out of bounds baseline, because that was a great defensive play.
Anderson off the inbound now for Wick. Top side of the right. Abdullah with a wicked crossover. Steps back, launches the jumper, rim and off. Rebound to Traore. That had this place buzzing. Top side right, Davis runs right to the lane, kicks it out right side. Council, his jumper came long to Traore. Swings it off, top side right. Morgan's 3 comes back iron, no good. Rebound Abdullah.
Cold shooting to open the second half again.
Abdullah coming left to right. Picks up the bounce, feeds it off to Lacey. Lacey now top side left into the hands of Wick. Far side left now for Anderson. Bounce it down far block. Backing his way in is Doolin. Top side right. Abdullah for 3. Rim it off. Rebound Drummond. Covers it up, and he's hobbling.
Drummond's hurt.
Far side of the right.
Still limping on that left, and now we're going to have a substitution.
Davis head of the key. Gave it near side left. Drummond. Back to Davis. Swings it far side of the right now to Morgan. Morgan, right corner. 3-ball on the way. Off the iron, no. For Traore. Top side right. Penetration by Anderson, and he basically threw it out of bounds.
One of the few turnovers we've seen tonight for both teams.
Andrews Fulton is back for Coppin State. Trey Thomas is on. Council Jr. checks in as Drummond will be attended to down at the end of the bench.
Andrews Fulton did a nice job in the first half getting himself open down there in the paint, so maybe they go back to him again.
Traore far side of the right. Gave it up to Thomas. Thomas now to Davis. Davis near side left. Morgan's got it. Left wing behind the arc. Now for Traore at the free throw line. Ducks in with the left. Fights it up in traffic. Thought for a moment that would be a dual possession.
Tough one.
So now left to right. Abdullah skids to a halt. Fires it off the glass and good. Give him 7.
I think he got by with a travel call again on that one too.
Ran right up the back of one of his own. Make it 38-14. 3 minutes gone here in the second half. Davis head of the key. Spins right. Put it behind his back. Lost the handle. Andrews Fulton tries to tie it up. And with the dual possession or a foul. It's going to be a foul assessed. Wick with his second.
You had to like the hustle that time from Andrews Fulton. He was really hustling.
Navy's head coach Ed DeChillis chiding the official, saying it was a loose ball situation. It fell on deaf ears, Dan.
As it usually does.
It usually does, that's right. 15 to shoot, top side right, Thomas with it. Coming left to the free throw line. Ducks in, floats it up to the right, front of the rim, no good. Tapped in the air, Abdullah comes away with it. Runs it back left to right to the head of the key. Ducks in with the left, nearly lost the handle. Anderson saves the possession, kicks it out top side right. Doolin's three comes rimming off.
Eagles still looking for their first basket. 16:21 left.
Davis tried to come around the screen, and the foul is on Traore. That's his second. That brings Fair back in the Coppin lineup.
Norris Fox also checks in for Navy.
Well, they brought back Kiernan, too. 15 in the opening half to lead all scorers. Fox with the top side right. Now for Doolin. Doolin tried to use that Lacey screen. Lacey on the catch, top side left out of Anderson. Anderson isolated top side left on Morgan. Back to Lacey, right corner kick out. Doolin gave it up to Lacey, runs it up and scores with the right hand.
Doolin with a big, strong move. Powers himself right through the paint and lays it in.
40-14 Navy. 15:45 to go. Second half. Davis with it high right. Swings it near side left. Fair coming right. Now back to Davis. Davis picks up the bounce. Swings it back to Fair. Fair near side left, going up for a two-hand punch is Traore, and he's taken off his feet. He'll have free throws coming out of the timeout. 15:27 to go in the second half. It's now Navy 40, Coppin State 14. Back after this 60-second timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. 15:27 to go here in the second half. Navy leads Coppin State 40-14. Tom Barley, Dan Mason with you here at the PEC at Coppin State University. So Navy with this run, 7-0 from the end of the first half to the beginning of the second half. That's after they went on the 24-4 run, so it's 31-4 on that run.
Eagles 0 for 5 from the field right now.
Line left. Trayor knocks down that free throw.
With that effort at Georgetown that the Eagles put in, you would think, I would never guess it would only be 15 points right now.
40-15. As Chad Andrews Fulton has to be attended to by the trainer. And as they do that, Cedric Council is going to re-enter the basketball game for the Eagles.
Rebounds now 25 for Navy, 21 for Coppin State. So they're closing in on that, but still down by 25 points.
Second attempt, rim it off. So keep it 40-15. Navy, 15-20 to go. Fox the handle, top side right, now to Doolin. Doolin back between the rings. Now for Wick, far side left to Fox. And 3 seconds in the lane, I believe is what was called.
Coaching staff urging the Eagles to post up down there on defense.
That turnover comes with 15-10 to go. Right to left comes Davis. Davis on the bounce, right side Trayor, just inside the free throw line. Swings it far side of the right, not a fair. Your side left, Thomas, back to Trayor, far side of the right. Gave it up to Fair. Bounce it to Council, fights it up, scores, and he ends up on the floor.
How in the world did he ever push that through with the contact he got around his hands? I'll never know, but that was pure strength.
Council with 4, 40-17, Navy with the lead. Doolin with it, head of the key with 17 to shoot. Far side left out of Kiernan. Kiernan back between the rings, now to Doolin. Doolin, bounce it to Fox. Through the lane, reverse it out to Anderson. Anderson had it knocked out of his hand. That hit the rim. Shot clock reset, it had 2 on it. So now Doolin's got it. Kicks it out to Kiernan. Left side Fox. Penetration by Doolin. Blocked with 2 hands. Doolin got his own miss back, fights it up the right hand and scores.
A lot of good defense down there by the Eagles that time. And too bad it had to end up with a Navy score because it was a great block underneath. A couple of them.
How about the deflection ends up on the rim? How about that? Tough break for the Eagles. Thomas with it. Reverse it near side left in the hands of Trayor. Trayor, ball screen hand up back to Thomas. Goes left, turns, fires, rim and off. Rebound Anderson. Finds Doolin streaking to the lane. Glass rim, no good. Rebound comes down to Fair. Fair runs it back quickly. Swings it, top side left. Davis on the catch. Dribbles into the free throw line area. Glass, good, and a foul. Karan Davis.
Good to see Karan pick that one up. Get on the scorer's table.
Makes it 42-19. Kiernan the foul, his first. Anderson exits, replaced by Davis in the Navy lineup. Bandaged and wrapped. Chad Andrews Fulton returns for Coppin State.
Come on, Karan, put this one through.
He does. 42-20. Davis now with 7. 13:21 to go. Doolin on the inbound.
First time we've seen a full court press tonight for the Eagles.
Fox to Davis. Stripped and stolen by Davis. Davis runs to the lane. Kicks it out right side. Thomas for 3. Back of the rim, no good. And the rebound comes down to Doolin.
I think this place would have erupted if he hit that 3. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, where you can string good offensive plays together like that.
2-3 possessions in a row. Next thing you know, 6-7-0 run, and you're right back in it. Doolin head of the key. Bouncing off top side of the right. Now for Kiernan. Gave it up to Fox. Fox turns right of the lane. Swings it back top side left. Doolin with 3. Gave it up to Kiernan with 2. With 1. Step back at the horn. Back of the rim, no. Doolin had it. Lost it out of bounds. Last touch by Navy.
Another chance for Coppin State to get back on the board and cut that 22-point lead down a bit. Still 12:39 to go.
Anderson replaces Doolin in the Navy lineup with 12:39 to go. Council on the inbound now for Karan Davis. They'll march it right to left across the time stripe now to the forecourt. Near side left to Thomas. Surveys the situation, now swings it back to Davis. Back to Thomas. Penetration left of the lane. Bounces down to the doorstep to Andrews Fulton. Swings it far side of the right. And that 3 comes rim. Good, and a foul.
Great ball movement that time by the Eagles. Wait a minute. Hold the phone here. Let's see what's going on here.
Good goal to make it 42-23. On the 3 by Fair, that gives him 6 in the game. And then I think the foul was called on Andrews Fulton on a potential rebound attempt. That's his first. Thomas exits. Morgan back in for Coppin State. So make it 42-23 Navy after 3 ball by Fair. A lot going on that last play.
Well, I thought we had a shot for a 4-point play there.
Bounce ahead to Anderson. Anderson between the rings now to Abdullah. Abdullah top side right. Gave it up to Anderson. Anderson goes right of the lane. Gallops to the glass. He traveled. There was no call.
Navy is really playing a little out of control now.
Morgan the rebound now for Davis. Davis out of the right corner. 3 ball is good.
I think Jim DeShillis will be calling a timeout any moment now. Won't be long.
Makes it 42-26. Credit the 3 to Council off the assist by Davis. That brings us to the under 12 media timeout. So indeed, Coppin has started to chip away at this lead. They trail Navy 42-26 with 11:43 to go second half. Back in 60 seconds on the Coppin State Sports Network. Back courtside at the PEC, Tom Barley, Dan Mason with you. Coppin State is now chipping away at the Navy lead, 42-26 Navy. They've held leading scorer Sean Anderson to a free throw in this game. Kiernan, the secret weapon, if you will, 15 points in the opening half. He's been held scoreless in the second half, which has 11:43 remaining.
Little buzz going on now. Hear the fans a little bit more excited as the lead's been cut to 16.
Points in the paint, advantage to Navy, 20-8. See if the Eagles can get a stop here and continue to chip away. Anderson wants Abdullah on the inbound, finds him in the backcourt. Defended by Morgan. Abdullah throws over the top of the double team. Kiernan on the catch, gave it back to Abdullah, 12 to shoot. Down to 10. Abdullah with the handle. Coming right. Spins left on Fair. 6 to shoot. 5. Down to 4. Went left. And a hand check call on Morgan. It's his 4th.
You're a coach. That's got to be a frustrating call for you. We have the clock down to 4 seconds. The Navy players were out of balance, and you get that call.
So now Thomas checks in. Andrews Fulton guards the inbounder. That's Sean Anderson. Gave it up to Abdullah. Back to Anderson. Left sideline. Gave it back to Abdullah. Shot clock to 13. Abdullah looking to take Thomas off the bounce. He's all the way at half court with 8. Down to 7. Coming right between the rings with 6. Down to 5. Swings it right side of the hands of Davis. Goes left of the lane with 1. Got it off. And it's an air ball shot clock violation.
Shot clock ran out that time. It could not get a position to get a good shot. And another good defensive play by the Eagles.
Must make possession for Coppin State here.
What's that?
Is this a must make possession?
Well, this crowd will go crazy if they put the ball in. Let's cheer for them. Come on, Eagles.
Top side left fair. Gave it up to Council. Left of the lane. Reverse it back between the rings now to Davis. Far side right Thomas. Bounce it off. Andrews Fulton. Swings it back head of the key now to Davis. Right side Thomas. Thomas swings it back to Davis. 8 to shoot. Launches a 3 and drained it. Davis now with 10. Pressure on the ball as it's 42-29 Navy.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Anderson runs it to the free throw line. Backs it all the way out to Abdullah. So as much as Coppin wanted to go up in their face and press them, as soon as Navy got across the time stripe, they ground it to a halt. Left side Anderson swings it near side right. Davis wants an answer 3, and it's good.
That was a good comeback there by Navy on that one.
45-29. Midshipman. Top side left fair. Hands it up to Council. Faces. Fires from 12. Glass no, but a whistle and a foul on Tom Lacey. That's his second.
Calls are starting to go a little bit towards the Eagles now. They're getting their fair share of it. That was a big basket by Cam Davis at the other end of the court. You know, to come back after we had scored. He came right back at you on that. Cedric's at the line.
So from down 40-14, Coppin in the midst of a 15-5 run of their own to cut it to 45-29. Council with another free throw coming.
Treyarch checks back into the game for the Coppin State.
Exactly halfway through the second half. And the second one rattles home for Council. Give him 8. 45-30. Navy. 16-5 Coppin run.
Eagles are right back in that full court press too.
Abdullah lobs it off for Doolin, who gave it back to Lacey, and the two-hand finish is something to behold to make it 47-30 Navy. Right side Thomas. Davis back to Thomas on the right wing. Back to Davis head of the key. Near side left to Fair. Gave it up to Council. Now to Fair. Head of the key. Davis wants another 3. Good again. Karan Davis. Within 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points. Down 47-33. 9:24 to go.
That's a small way to look at it. Very creative.
Anderson coming left. Swings it out right corner. 3 ball for Kiernan. Left iron, no good.
That time, nobody from Navy underneath.
Davis finds a trailing Fair. He wants a 3. Left of the rim, no. Council up the ladder for the rebound. Got it back. Off the window, too strong, and over the back was Trayor picking up his 3rd.
You almost felt like something like that was going to happen with all the contact and the mixing down underneath. And the Eagles were desperately trying to get that ball back. The intensity has picked up a lot for the Eagles.
Dan, I understand the young man's feeling it. You got to get a better look than that. You have to. 47-33 Navy, 9:04 to go. Left to right comes Abdullah. Abdullah between the ring, swings it right side Anderson. Anderson back to Abdullah. Abdullah holding. Now goes left wing. They feed it back door. Good for Doolin on the backdoor cut. He's got 11. 49-33 Navy. 8:35 to go. Davis now for Trayor. Right side to Thomas. Thomas now to Davis head of the key. Coming left to the Council screen. They try to go pick and roll. It was cut off with the hedge from Lacey popping out. Head of the key 3 for Council. Wide left and out of bounds.
Not good shot selection there. I don't see a lot of screens being set tonight. And a lot of coaches will tell you if you don't set the screens, you have nothing. You have to set the screens.
So on that pick and roll, as we talked about, Dan, Navy's doing a nice job to hedge at that elbow. Bounce it off to Lacey. He'll punch it again with the right hand. Give him 10. Lead balloons to 18 at 51-33, closing in on 8 minutes to go. Top side left. Feed comes to Morgan. Gave it back to Trayor. Bounce it a lane for Council. Picked off. Doolin on the run back. Lob it for the rim again. Glass and good for Lacey. Give him 12. Just like that, Navy rips off 6 straight, and the lead is 20.
Lacey's picking up where Kiernan left off in the first half.
Thomas with it, top side left. Now to the right wing behind the arc, Trayor. Trayor skips it high left to Thomas. Thomas on the catch with 10 to shoot. Backs it out with 9, down to 8. Thomas splits the double team, punched out. Abdullah on the run out, slides it to the right. Glass and good for Kiernan, who's got 17. 7:14 to go. Coppin State takes time, trailing Navy 55-33. Back after a 60-second timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. Coppin made a 19-7 run to cut the lead to 14 at 47-33. And then Dan Mason, Navy has ripped off 8 straight to balloon the lead back to 22 at 55-33.
Lacey's been like a freight train through there. He's been very difficult to stop. And so far, the Eagles have no answer for his drives.
We came in looking at Sean Anderson. He's been held to a free throw. It's these other guys that are taking us apart tonight.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought you could hold Sean Anderson to 1 point?
And he has not tried to force anything tonight.
Navy's height, I believe, is beginning to play a factor here. Kiernan and Lacey are both big guys, 6'7" and 6'8".
So now the inbound comes to Karan Davis. Davis between the rings. Finds Andrews Fulton. The kick out was deflected. Last touch by Anderson. It goes out of bounds. Shot clock was at 12. 6:57 to go. We have the media timeout on the floor. It comes with 6:57 to go, second half, 55-33. Navy leads Coppin State on the Coppin State Sports Network back after a 60-second timeout. Out of the timeout, 7 minutes remain, 15 to shoot. Let's take a look around the MEAC once again. Here's Dan Mason.
Here's a MEAC scoreboard for you tonight. Morgan State down by 6 to Towson. 7:57 left in the game. And listen to this one. Coastal Carolina 73, Hampton 71. Second half, 3:23 left in that one. And it's halftime, and Delaware State leads UMBC 40-35.
That last one, A little interesting on that last score, 40-35, Del State leading UMBC. We'll see UMBC Tuesday the 12th at 7. Coppin State goes on the road after the game at UConn on Saturday. Navy's on the road at Columbia Sunday the 10th for a 1 o'clock start. Little confusion on that last timeout there. They thought that the first called timeout went to the media, then the media timeout came under 8. Either way, there's one more media timeout left and it comes under 4 minutes. So Thomas will inbound from that far sideline with 15 to shoot.
Coppin State has improved their second half shooting. Second half, they're 37.5.
Inbound comes to Davis. Davis swings it to Morgan. Thought about a 3. Give it back to Davis. Far side right with 10. Down to 9. Back to Morgan. Left corner. Penetration move by Traore. Kick it out right corner. Thomas wants a 3 and rattles it home.
Nice shot by Trey.
55-36. Coppin down 19. 6.5 to go. Pitch ahead comes to Lacey. Lacey top side of the right to Abdullah. And the midshipmen very content to run this shot clock all the way down.
I was going to say the same thing, Todd. They use every second of it.
Lacey head of the key, now to Kiernan. Gave it back to a cutting Abdullah. Feeds it back door, and ducking in and scoring is Anderson. That's his first field goal in this game. Give him 3 points and make it 57-36 Navy.
Looked good with a reverse layup that time.
Traore into the forecourt, far side right Davis. Davis right wing to Thomas. Thomas, right side Andrews Fulton, fights it up, rim no, but a whistle and a foul. Fouls on Abdullah, that's his second. So Andrews Fulton steps in, line left. 2 free throws coming with exactly 6 minutes to go. First one's good. Makes it an even 20 at 57-37, and I believe Kiernan may have to be buttoned up by the trainer.
It's like a cut on his right forearm.
So you get 20 seconds to make the repair, if you will, or you have to make a substitution.
And he used all 20 seconds of that, too. He's back. 15 points on the night for Kiernan. Navy has pretty balanced scoring tonight, by the way.
Second free throw for Andrews Fulton is good. Give him 4. Make it 57-38. Navy, less than 6 to go. Yeah, they've got 3 in double figures. And Coppin takes it away. Andrews Fulton, right side. Thomas gave it back to Andrews Fulton on the far block. Reverse it back to Thomas. Top side left to Davis.
Fans wanted him to shoot that ball underneath the basket, but Andrews Fulton kicked it back out.
Andrews Fulton right to the rack. He's fouled by Kiernan. That's his second.
I believe the fans were right on that one. They wanted him to take it to the bucket and put it in. He draws the foul this time.
The junior out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Constitution High School, Baltimore City Community College. Andrews Fulton line left, puts it on the way and good. Makes it 57-39. Navy with 5:34 to go. Second attempt on the way, good again. Andrews Fulton now with 6. 57-40 Navy. Anderson runs the baseline, gets it into Doolin. Back to Anderson. Up the left side, Doolin. Back to Anderson. Anderson out of the forecourt, right of the jump circle. Feeds it head of the key now to Lacey. Lacey at the free throw line, stripped and stolen once again. Andrews Fulton outlets Thomas. He'll bring it back right to left. Feeds it off to Andrews Fulton on the doorstep. Had it knocked away and out of bounds.
A lot of contact under there. He was hit pretty hard by Lacey that time. No call.
So now Davis from the baseline to inbound, looking. Finds Morgan left corner. He rises for three and drains it. His first three in the second half give him 6 points in this game. 57-43 Navy.
Great shot that time. High arcing three from the corner and then went bam. Looks like that.
Doolin to Abdullah between the rings. Defended by Morgan, playing with 4 fouls. 15 to shoot. Abdullah uses the Lacey screen to the right. Coming back to his left in the lane. Gave it up to Lacey. He goes up strong. Blocked away. Loose ball. Last touched by Coppin. 7 to shoot.
7.
Somebody has to inbound the basketball. Anderson now from the baseline. Gets it into Kiernan. Kiernan top side left. Hold the phone. We got a whistle and what? I believe a hold on Andrews Fulton. That's his second. Well, he took the worst of that because he's checking his left eye.
Yes, he did. He got poked in the eye. And he goes to the bench.
He's checking for a contact. Council's back in, replacing Andrews Fulton. So now Lacey line to our right. 1 and the bonus.
Lacey's 2 for 3 at the free throw line tonight. Puts that in.
Give him 13 points in the game. 58-43 Navy.
Lacey's also 5 for 6 from the field. And those were all underneath the basket slam dunks, probably.
Wick replaces Kiernan for Navy. This starting 5 of Abdullah Anderson, Doolin, Wick, and Lacey have started all 11 games for Navy. Rim and off. And the rebound to Coppin State. Keep it 58-43 Navy, 4:30 to go.
Got to hurry here.
Davis coming left. Bounce it back. Traore, line, lane, right to the rim and scores with the left hand.
That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it, Eagles.
58-45. 4:14 to go. Abdullah for Anderson. Skip it near side to Doolin. Gave it back to Abdullah. Far side left now for Anderson. Now for Abdullah, left of the jump circle. Coming right with 15 to shoot. Lob it off to Doolin, head of the key. Bounces down to the doorstep to Anderson. Anderson turns right, then left, and scores with the left hand.
Anderson was double-teamed that time. It managed a way to spin left and put it in.
60-45 Navy. Top side left. Fair on the catch. Goes right side to Davis. Davis turns it over. Left to right Anderson. Scoop with a right hand. Can't get it to drop. Tap follow for Doolin is good. Give him 13.
2 Coppin defenders had slid completely off the court that time. Left him wide open for 2.
3:25 to go, and we've got a whistle and I believe an illegal screen on Traore. That's his 4th. It comes with 3:19 to go. Navy leading Coppin State 62-45. We're back after a 60-second timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. So out of the timeout, 3:19 to go. Navy leading Coppin 62-45 here at the PEC. Campus of Coppin State in Baltimore. Todd Barley, Dan Mason with you.
Lamar Morgan breaks that huddle shouts to his teammates, don't give up.
Couple of threes, they're right back in it. Play 2 for run the rest of the way. Coppin has 18 fouls. You get 2 more, you put him at the line for 2 the rest of the way. See what happens. Anderson on the inbound, gave it up to Abdullah. Abdullah gave it back to Anderson. Anderson left to right, down to the forecourt. Between the rings, now to Abdullah. Abdullah, right side, nearly lost the handle. 13 to shoot, comes all the way back out, top side right. Down to 8, 7 to shoot. Ran into his defender, covers up the ball. It's still on the floor, and a timeout Navy with 3 to shoot. Lacey called the timeout, walking over to the far side official. As Abdullah lands on the basketball.
It will be interesting to see what type of play Navy comes back with to use this last 3 seconds.
So we'll keep it here with the timeout on the floor. 2:51 to go. Navy up 62-45 here at Coppin State. Dan, you mentioned the rebounding margin. It's closed to 33-27 in favor of Navy. But again, that 26-7 edge on the defensive glass.
You know, also look at field goal percentage right now. Second half, we're at 47.4. So it was that disastrous first half that got us behind. But the second half, the guys have played with some tenacity.
So now how do they finish this one? And they carried over to the game on Saturday at UConn before coming back to Baltimore and taking on UMBC on Tuesday the 12th. We're about to find out in the final 2:51. 3 to go. Inbound comes to Anderson. Turns right through it through the lane. And getting it out of his hand was Lacey. In time, it goes rimming off. Rebound Morgan. Now for Davis. Davis head of the key. Bounce it off. Andrews Fulton. Kick out left corner. Thomas through traffic. Picked off. Abdullah has Doolin racing back. He touched it back for a teammate. It's on the floor again. And from his backside, Lacey finds Anderson in the jump circle. 15 to shoot. Anderson the handle. Going strong on Thomas. Goes left to the lane. Ducks in with the left. Scores and got fouled.
That was inside on Andrews Fulton that time. It's his 4th foul.
Anderson line to the right, trying to complete the 3-point play with 2:13 to go. Rim and off. Rebound to Thomas. Keeps it 64-45 Navy. Thomas on the catch. Near side left to Morgan. Morgan facing up. After a bounce, hands it off to Davis. Davis left to right to the head of the key with 13 to shoot. Step back 3 is on the way. Good. Davis now with 16. 64-48 Navy. Coppin pressuring in the backcourt. Doolin the handle, coming left to right. Now to the forecourt to Anderson. 1:40 to go. Anderson back to the jump circle. 15 to shoot, closing in on 90 seconds to go. Anderson just left his defender in his wake. Finds Abdullah left wing. Wide open look at a 3, and he buries it.
Nobody was close to Abdullah that time. Maybe Todd 10 feet away.
Makes it 67-48 Navy, 75 seconds to go. Davis head of the key. Comes back right to left. Spin to his right in the lane. Scoop of the left hand off the glass. No, but a whistle and a foul.
Karan was really weaving through that time and was able to get all the way down to the basket. Picked up the foul.
Doolin with his second. It comes with 68 seconds to go. Coppin down 67-48.
16 points tonight for Karan. Puts 2 here. He gets 18. 2 more. He gets his 20-point game.
First one's on the way. And good. 67-49. Change is coming. Abdullah, Doolin, and Wick will exit. Fox is back.
Morgan's in the game now for Coppin State.
Pearson is on for the first time for Navy. Davis got them both, give him 18. 67-50. Navy with the lead. Inbound up the left side now for Riemersma. Pearson in the backcourt. Finds Anderson coming left to right, and Thomas is on the floor in the backcourt. He got annihilated by a screen.
He hit the chest first on that one, too.
So the officials stop play for a moment. J.R. Mathis checks in for the first time for Navy, along with Dominic Antonelli.
These must be players maybe 17 and 18 from the bench, possibly 19 and 20.
So they'll see some time here in the final minute, 58.7 to go. Pearson on the inbound looking. Lobs it in, top side right. Riemersma gave it back to Pearson. And he's bumped off by Davis. That's his first. It comes with 53.9 to go. 10th team foul against the Eagles. Pearson's free throw on the way, good. Makes it 68-50. Second one for Pearson is good. 69-50, 52 seconds to go. Navy with the lead. Coppin to the forecourt. Davis with it, top side, between the rings. Hesitation dribble to his left. Steps to his right, comes back to his left. Rim, it trickled off. And in transition, Fox is fouled. That's unfair, his first. Double bonus with 38.7 to go.
That was a tough break for Karan Davis that time. That ball just hung there and just slid right off. I thought it was going to go in.
So Fox steps into the free throw line. It's on the way and good. Makes it 70-50 Navy. Andrews Fulton having a conversation that's been ongoing with the official tonight. Second one for Fox. Back of the rim, no good. Rebound to Davis. Keep it 70-50 Navy. Right side Thomas. Gave it back to Davis. Davis at the right elbow. Swings it left corner. Fair wants a three. It's on the way and good. Fair with 9. Makes it 70-53 Navy with 25.7 to go. We have an official's review of the last shot. As they do that, we'll step away for a 30-second timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. So the three is good. And they take the clock from 25-7 to 26-8. With Navy in front, 70-53. Fox will inbound from the baseline, and Dan Mason, he'll do that uncontested as Coppin looks for the steal on the other four players.
Right.
Fox looked long. Inbounds it short to Riemersma. Now up the left side to Pearson. Pearson near the jump circle, now to the forecourt. Draws the double team, throws over the top, far side left. On the catch. Mathis went strong, reversing off now for Riemersma. Back to Fox, top side right. Antonelli with it, skips it far side left. Pearson will hold with 3 to go, and that'll do it. Navy comes into the PEC and defeats Coppin 70-53. With the win, Navy improves to 8-3 on the year, and Coppin falls to 0-9 on the year. Now going to UConn on Saturday for a 2 o'clock tip. Navy going to Columbia for a 1 o'clock tip on Sunday.
Doesn't get any easier. Traveling to UConn on Saturday.
So a brief 30-second timeout. Come back with the head coach of the Coppin State Eagles next on the Coppin State Sports Network. That court set at the PEC. Join the head coach of the Coppin State Eagles, Juan Dixon. And, Coach, all part of the process. You take on Navy tonight, closing out the opening half, a 24-4 run for Navy. And then the second half, you guys get right back in it with a 19-7 run of your own.
Yeah, what we got to do, we got to compete. We got to be consistent on the defensive end. I thought we had some lapses early in the first half. We let our offense affect our defense. We just got to keep building our culture and understand that, no matter what's happening offensively, you can stay in the game if we defend at a high level.
Speaking of defending as well as scoring, Karan Davis, 18 points in this game for you. He has a nice night coming off the 20 against Georgetown, then backs it up with 18 tonight.
Yeah, Karan has been pretty consistent. DeJuan's hurt. So when DeJuan get back, we're going to have 2 point guards on the floor at all times, and I think it's going to really help us moving forward. We got to figure out our identity. We're lacking, being consistent on the defensive end. Maybe we got to junk up the game a little bit. Maybe we got to press, but we're going to figure it out as a staff.
Next up, looking ahead at UConn on Saturday, expectations going to Connecticut.
Yeah, we just got to play hard. It's real simple. Play hard and make the right play. Navy's an aggressive team, but we can use it against them. It's our guys got to be willing to make the right play, and we got to be a little bit more unselfish offensively. But when a team hard show like that, we should penalize them every time. Just get the ball on the seam and be able to play on the backside. But we will get better.
Certainly appreciate the time tonight, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
There it is, head coach Juan Dixon of the Coppin State Eagles as they fall tonight 70-53 to Navy, back after a 2-minute timeout on the Coppin State Sports Network. So that court's out at the PEC. Todd Barley, Dan Mason with you here on the home of the Eagles. 70-53 in favor of Navy tonight. Individually for the midshipmen off their bench, it is Antonelli, Mathis, and Reimers not scoring but seeing time. It is Pearson with 2, Davis with 3, Fox with 3, Kiernan with a team high of 17. For the starters, it is Wick with 2, and then Anderson with 7. So he still has time to go on that all-time scoring list, as you mentioned in the open. Then 3 in double figures as starters. It is Abdullah with 10, Doolin and Lacey each with 13 for a team total of 70. For Coppin State off their bench, Simpson and Brownlee saw time to tally. Thomas with 3, Andrews Fulton with 6, Fair with 9, leading the bench bunch. For the starters, Drummond was held scoreless, Traore with 3, Morgan with 6, Council with 8. And Karan Davis with a team high of 18, including 14 in the second half, most of which coming in that comeback.
Well, this was a tale of two halves here. The second half, Coppin State outscored Navy 39-35, and they shot 50% from the floor. So it comes down to these better percent shooting when you get around the basket. In the first half, you saw what happened, Todd. Missed a lot of easy layups that were missed around the basket. So, the turnovers don't look bad at 12 versus 11 for Navy. 35-30 on the rebounds. 23 defensive rebounds for Coppin State. 7 offensive for Navy. 8 offensive and 27. So, that's pretty comparable. It's not that. It's the first half shooting that really hurt tonight.
And Davis, our Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game tonight with the 18, and the key to that second half run was his 14 points.
He's always consistent. The games that I have seen, he's always consistent. He's a good leader and a good point guard for this team.
Appreciate the time, my friend, and we'll be seeing you in the very near future, not only with the women's basketball program, but also some of the men's contests as well, with Navy picking up the win here at Coppin State 70-53. So for Dan Mason, also Justin Hawkins, Corey and Bob on the TV side here on CoppinStateSports.com. Todd Barley, final score, final time for the PEC. It's Navy 70, Coppin State 53. Until next time on the Coppin State Sports Network, have a great night, everybody.